Yep. We are live. Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. Let's skip the majority of the intro here, and let's just go to introductions. I am Xander.
Yo, King's Refuge.
And today is Thursday, aka Thursday, August 1st, 2024. And of course, you viewer are you. Let's get into the history today, shall we? You want to start us off here in 30 BC?
30 BC, Octavian, later known as Augustus, enters Alexandria, Egypt, bringing it under the control of the Roman Republic.
I'm so happy that you said the last section of that, because if you just ended at Alexandria, then we have a potential porn on our hands here. Octavian entered Alexandria. Woo woo!
527, Justinian. It sounds better. Justinian, the first, becomes the sole ruler of Byzantine Empire after the death of his uncle, Justine the First.
So we went from Justin to Justinian. That sounds like some really poor attempt to like one up somebody's Twitter handle or something.
No, yeah, you're Justin. I'm Justinian.
Oh, look at me. 1086.
1086, result of Doomsday Inquiry presented to the William the Conqueror in Salisbury. The date of compilation and Great Doomsday are historically contestable.
Domesday. Yeah. What is the Domesday Inquiry? Let's look at it. The Domesday Book, okay. The Middle English spelling of Doomsday Book is a manuscript of the Great Survey of much of England and parts of Wales, completed in 1086 at the behest of King William the Conqueror. So it was a survey.
I was right.
All right. Yeah, well, it was Doomsday. Yeah, you are right. So, 1096, the People's Crusade, led by Peter the Hermit, arrived at Constantinople with 30,000 followers. Wow, the People's Crusade.
Constantinople.
Yep. 1291, Everlasting League formed, basis of Swiss Confederation, their independence. And which is really interesting because I think later on we actually talk about Everlasting Love, or no, not Endless Love, the song that they played in, what was that Adam Sandler movie? The hockey one. Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, Happy Gilmore, yeah.
Yeah. 1315, Robert the Bruce's siege of Carlisle Castle ended in failure in Cumbria, England, during the First War of Scottish Independence. Alright. That's unfortunate. So, like Robert the Bruce, he was the King of Scots, and he unfortunately did not succeed. I'm all for Scottish independence. What do we got here in 1315? Actually, we got that one, 1498.
1498, Christopher Columbus lands on South America for the first time near the mouth of Orinoco River, the modern-day Venezuela.
Oh.
Venezuela. Wow.
Venezuela.
Blah, 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 blah.
And you know what the Venezuelans did to Christopher Columbus? Afuela.
Afuela.
Yeah.
Oh.
1628.
1628, Emperor Ferdinand II demands Austria Protestants convert to Catholicism.
Yeah, the Protestants. We all know that the Protestants and the Catholics have been at each other's throats for forever. Moving on up to 1639, French Ursuline nun Marie de l'Incarnation arrived in Quebec on board the St. Joseph, went on to open the first school for girls, and play a large part in establishing Catholicism in New France. That's pretty big. Nice. 1701, Huron chief Conadric urged First Nations people to sign a peace settlement with France, died the next day, resulted in the Great Peace of Montreal. So sounds like he did get what he wanted, which is good. Peace, you know? That's unfortunate that he died the next day. I wonder if he had any illness or if he got murdered or something. 1715, we have the first Doggett's Coat and Badge race, the Waterman's Race, held on the Thames River, the London Bridge to Chelsea. Okay. What do we have here in 1720?
1720, South Sea bubble reaches a frenzy in London as the stock price of South Sea Company peaks at 1,000 lira, collapses soon after, and falls to 124 lira by December.
Is that lira or is that pounds?
I don't know. I saw the L and I was like, lira? Maybe.
A pound. Well, what is the sign for lira? Because lira was a correct. It is okay. Oh, I can see why you're confused. That's really close. Especially this one here. Oh man, are you kidding me? Like, it's just one dash away. Wow. Like, you had me.
The left one, right? The green one's like perfect.
That's straight up, yeah. All it's missing is a little like the little like round thing. Like the pound sign has a little circle. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like this one does not. Wow, that's close. Okay, now I can understand why you got confused. You had me confused for a second there too, because I was just like, isn't that the sign for pounds? But I'm like, I'm gonna look it up. Huh. And here we go.
22.
32.
32. 1732, foundations laid for Bank of England.
Sounds like the Rothschilds to me.
Mm-hmm. Bank of England, Mm-hmm.
Yep. But then,
1774, English chemist Joseph Priestley discovers oxygen by isolating it in its gaseous state.
Huh. Isn't that weird? Isn't it in a gaseous state already? Like air, oxygen is in air. I mean, so is nitrogen and other stuff, but... Huh. So I guess before that, people didn't breathe? Question mark?
I don't know.
Like... 1780, Sweden declared neutrality. Speaking of Sweden, I'm still questioning whether or not they've ever gotten bombed before. Like, I don't think they have. I think you're right on that too. But yeah, no, 1780 is when they declared neutrality. 1781, British Army under General Cornwallis occupied Yorktown in Virginia. And that'll be the beginning of the end for him. We all know, Yorktown is when, things really change for us. What do we have in 1785? We got two things, actually.
1785, Caroline Herschel becomes the first woman to discover a comet.
Nice. Nice. Wow, that's a long time ago.
1785, French naval scientific expedition ordered by St. Louis XVI, led by La Perouse, with 220 men, departs Brest, lost in the Pacific, 1788, 3 years later.
Wow. So obviously they didn't share what they found.
In 1789, U.S. Customs begins enforcing Tariff Act.
Now we have so many tariffs, it's unreal. Like, tariff this, tariff that, sanction, blah, 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 tax.
You don't agree with us, we'll sanction you. Oh.
Yeah. Basically, like, nothing more than, like, a bunch of 3-year-old kindergarten school children threatening each other on the playground with actual powers. Like, oh, you don't agree with me? Well, I'm gonna go to the UN and tattle. Yeah. Like, oh my God, grow up. You're supposed to be world leaders, people. Come on. 1793, France became first country to use the metric system. Huh. So that's interesting. Before that, primarily, things were using the imperial system because it was invented by the Brits, as was soccer, and the term soccer itself was invented by them too. And then they turn around and mock us for using it, while they call it football. It's like, this was your own creation, British. 1794, the Whiskey Rebellion began in western Pennsylvania. What was the Whiskey Rebellion? Let's check this out here, 1794. Let's see. Whiskey Rebellion. It was a violent tax protest in the United States beginning in 1791 and ending in 1794 during the presidency of George Washington. Huh. The so-called whiskey tax was the first tax imposed on a domestic product by the newly formed federal government. Beer was difficult to transport and spoiled more easily than rum and whiskey. Rum distillation in the United States had been disrupted during the Revolution, and whiskey distribution and consumption increased afterwards. So, under George Washington, we had a tax. I did not know that. Like, it makes sense. Like, the government has to get money from somewhere, and it's not from donations. So, a violent tax. So this is 1794. This is in the final throes of it, the last year, and the later half of the last year, mind you. But this is when it started in Pennsylvania. So I guess they actually took action when it, started happening in more populated areas. Like, oh, we actually have to pay attention now. So, man, like, there's a dark side of George Washington that, people need to be made aware of, it looks like. How can you sit there? Well, we did have taxation with representation, at least, though. People could vote if you own land, that is. So I wonder if people who didn't own land paid a tax on whiskey, because that would be taxation without representation under George Washington's very eye. We need to look more into this. You know what? I'm gonna add this in the underbar section. Hold on. Whiskey Rebellion. Like, what say you about this? Like, this is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. What do we have here in 1831?
1831, London Bridge across the... London Bridge across the Thames opens to traffic.
Yeah, and I believe that's the same London Bridge that is now out in Arizona.
Is that the one that fell down?
Ha! It's kind of funny to know that what was it, something pocket full of posies.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
When I learned about that, I'm like, holy cow! I sung that so many times.
Dude, like as a school child, just singing Casualty about like ashes, ashes, we all fall down. It's
Our
about
parents let us sing that.
Yeah. And for anybody who doesn't understand, the Ring Around the Rosie nursery rhyme is based off of the bubonic plague, the Black Death. Ring Around the Rosies is the lesions you get on your skin. Pocket full of posies, they we all know, like, the plague doctor from SCP. Well, like, back in those days, the doctors wore masks and stuffed spices and posies and various other things in those beaks because they believed that kept the air out or something, like something, witchcraft. I don't know. Ashes, ashes.
It's the early gas mask, pretty much.
Yeah, essentially. Ashes, ashes, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We all fall down. We're all dead.
Yep.
Like, holy cow! We were just singing that in Jubilee as a child. What the hell's wrong with us? Yikes! Oh.
All with our parents.
Oh man, well.
More like it.
Well, maybe they didn't know. I don't know. Like, I mean.
Maybe.
But anyway, moving on up. What do we got here? Actually, that's weird. We went from 1831 to 1812 back to 1831. Okay, let me just edit that. What do we got here in 1812? We're gonna kind of do a weird
Rare
wobble.
tornado hits Westchester County, New York.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't hear about the tornadoes much down there.
No. Well, like, what was it yesterday? They had a tornado up in, like, Ontario or something? Like, Canada? Albany, right?
And
No, not
oh
Albany.
yeah, it was a record. It's like a F something or
F4.
other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was an F4, right?
something like that.
Ooh, here's something nice. 1834.
1834 Slavery Abolition Act. 1833 comes into effect, abolishes slavery throughout the British Empire.
Now,
Mm.
let's see if I can find it really quick. Because I posted this a while ago. I saw the meme explaining the full story. But basically, this abolition tax took such a financial toll on the British Empire that I think the meme said 2014. I keep getting it confused between 2004 to 2014. One of those two. Taxes in the in the United Kingdom and stuff, we're still paying that debt off. So there are people alive today, who contributed to rebounding the amount of deficit an entire nation went into doing the right thing. But nobody talks about that. Oh, no, no.
No,
Oh, no, no, no. That makes white people look human. Oh, we can't have that. Oh, boo
yeah,
hoo.
no one talks about how the West ended slavery.
Nobody talks about how white people have done more than any other people to end all this crap. Nobody talks about that. Oh, and now people are going to call me a racist for saying that. Well, go ahead. Use your fat, shitty little buzzword. I have facts. You have emotions. Which one's going to win? So, anyway, 1836, as part of their homeward journey on the HMS Beagle, Charles Darwin returned to Bahia in Brazil. All right. For whatever reason, our source here really tracks Charles Darwin's every move. But, yeah. I was going to go off on a whole rant about our source being leftist and all that stuff again, but I'm going to move on up to 1838. Apprenticeship system was abolished in most of the British Empire. Former slaves no longer indentured to former owners. So that was just 4 years after this abolition act here. Actually, I guess 5 technically, but 4 since it was into effect. 1842.
1842 Lombard Street riot erupts in Philadelphia.
Huh. Lombard Street riot. That was what, 1842? Let me look that up here really quick. Lombard Street riot. Let's see. It was a 3-day race riot in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The riot was the last in 13-year period marked by frequent racial attacks in the city. It started on Lombard Street between 5th and 8th Streets. Alright, so another race riot. Dude, yeah, there's we've had a slew of race riots and stuff. It's is it race riot season or something?
It is summer months.
Yeah. I mean, it is really interesting. I forgot what it was called, but there's this.
No one riots in wintertime.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody's too cold for that. Well, unless they're mostly peaceful protests in which they burn half the city down. Then there's plenty of fire to warm yourself up with. But no, it's really interesting that you should say that, because I've been thinking about that myself. Researching and writing over the past couple of weeks. Every day there's multiple race riots. What is going on? And it is the summer months. There's this movie, I think it's called The Call or something, and it involves a 911 dispatcher, and she's off and on with communications with this one kidnapped lady. It's a really thrilling movie, and I personally would not want to watch it again. But if you haven't seen it, King, then I'll watch it with you. But it is a nail biter. But it is mentioned at the beginning of that movie that it's the summer months, the temperature rises, people's anger rises. There is a correlation between the temperature and people's limit on how much crap they deal with. So moving on up, 1852, San Francisco Methodists established the first black church, Zion Methodist. I don't know about Zion, man. Anything Zionism, that's questionable to me. If you know anything about Zionists, not good. What do we have here in 1855?
1855, Castle Garden in New York City, now known as Castle Clinton,
What?
opens as first U.S. receiving station for immigrants.
Oh my God. Huh. How'd you like to be an immigrant and go into the Castle Clinton immigration station? Huh. Doesn't sound like you'll be coming out of there alive.
Oh, we're moving on.
I'm sorry.
Well, jokes could be made aplenty with that.
Yeah.
1861, Brazil recognizes Confederacy, Civil War.
What the hell, Brazil? They're on the side of slavery. Okay.
1863, Battle of Little Rock, Arkansas. Starts of Chattanooga campaign.
Ah. And that same day saw the end of another. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, 1863 also. Cavalry action near Brandy Station marks the end of Gettysburg campaign.
Huh. All right. Ooh, take this next one. This is nice. Why is this not highlighted?
1867, blacks vote for the first time in U.S. election in the South, Tennessee.
Gotta give a cheer to that, man. Hell yeah. Tennessee, hey, that's where I was from. 1870, the Irish Land Act gave rights to tenants of landlords in Ireland. Alright, that makes sense. They're people too. 1876, Colorado became the 38th state of the Union. Cool. 1881, U.S. quarantine station authorized for Angel Island in San Francisco Bay. Huh. I wonder where Angel Island is. Hold on, let me look that up here really quick. Angel Island in San Francisco Bay. Oh, okay, that one. Let's see if we can find it on the map here. Angel Island. Okay, there's. Okay, so Angel Island is up there. All right. Cool. 1883. What do we got? Where is it? Here it is. Ooh, wow.
Amsterdam's Grand Hotel Kranopoliski gets electric lights.
Ooh.
Nice.
What about that papyrus one right before it?
Papyrus. Oh, a papyrus offered to British Museum for £10,000 and a forgery.
Are you sure that's pounds?
Yes.
It might be lira.
No, I don't think so.
Those are close, though. Those are really close.
They are real close.
Yeah. Ooh, here we go. Britain doing what Britain does in 1886.
1886, Great Britain annexes Kermadec Island near New Zealand.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Now, this next one here is probably going to confuse you if you don't already know the correlation.
Great Britain, 1900, the first Michelin guide is published by brothers Edouard and Andre Michelin as a hotel and restaurant reference guide to encourage more road travel and thus boost tire sales. Exact date beyond August 1900 unknown. Wow.
So if you know about the Michelin Tire Company, which most people do in the States at least, especially with the big marshmallow looking tire man,
Okay.
they and the Michelin Star Guide, Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay and all these chefs and everything talk about Michelin style restaurants. They are one in the same. The Michelin Star Guide is of the tire company. And right here, as King just read, this is the correlation. Isn't that madness? Like, we rate an arbitrary number created as a sales technique from a tire company as a way to like validate what is good restaurants and what is not. Like, isn't it what kind of mad world are we living? That is insane. Wow. 1901, burials within San Francisco city limits were prohibited. Like, I guess they ran out of room. I mean, of course, they after the great earthquake, which wasn't the earthquake coming up like 1903 or something, the great earthquake and the great fire.
Yeah.
So like they lost a lot of land, and they just took all of the debris, including bodies, and just used that to make to build more land. So I'd say like at least 1/3 of the ground of San Francisco, especially like directly on the bay, at least 1/3 of all that area has corpses in it that nobody ever found the bodies of because they're right there. That's terrifying. Can you imagine, like, going to some like little restaurant along the bay, having a view of the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz and everything, and then knowing just like 15 feet beneath you could be a dead body. Like, yikes. 1902, a mine accident in Wollongong, Australia, caused the deaths of 100 people. That sucks. And then 1907, the first scout camp opened on Brownsea Island in Poole Harbour, Dorset. So this is, of course, the British Scouts, because I can't think of any place in this nation that would be called Dorset or Poole Harbour, Brownsea Island. No, this is definitely British here. Too many names. But also in 1907, the U.S. Army Signal Corps established a small aeronautical division. All right. We got a off of main source here, Tour de France, if you want to take it.
1909.
Do you see the 1909? Are you going off of the script?
1909, Tour de France. Francois Faber of Luxembourg becomes the first foreigner to win the cycling classic.
All right. Nice. I don't know why that's not in here.
1911, Harriet Quimby passes her pilot's test and becomes the first U.S. woman to earn an Aerial Club of America's Aviator Certificate.
I'm going to double check and look this up. I think this might be a misplaced article, this Tour de France one here. Francis Favois. Anyway, while I'm looking this up, you have another 1911. Actually, you have a couple more.
Omar Bradley, age 18, begins education in West Point Military Academy.
Yeah, Omar Bradley.
Is that General Bradley?
Yes, General Omar Bradley. Yeah, the same guy. You remember Patton? We saw that not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same guy here. So I looked this up with this Tour de France thing, and I think it is where it's supposed to be, because the 1909 Tour de France was from July 5th until August 1st, and this is August 1st. So, and that's the end of it, and he won. So I don't know why they would not mention the first foreigner winning this thing. I know for a fact I got this from them last year, from this same source. So they've knowingly, intentionally taken it out, because all of these are from this source from last year. So that's weird. Good thing I have it.
Right.
Uno Mas, 1911.
Transportation work begins a major strike in England, part of the wave of industrial unrest.
Well, that's not good.
Oh.
Yeah. 1914, Emperor Wilhelm II of Germany declared war on his nephew, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia, in World War I. Yep. So they declared war. It wouldn't be until November 11th, really, before it would be known as the Great War. But their war did break out. Very much like how a lot of people are saying we're living in the prelude to World War III here, with what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in Palestine, what's going on in the Eastern Pacific, no, the Western Pacific. Sorry, the Western Pacific, or I guess Eastern Pacific. Geography is weird when you go around the world. What China is doing and all that stuff, and scary times. 1914, as well, Marcus Garvey and others founded the university, this word, Improvement Association in Jamaica, which, by the way, this word means black in Spanish, but because of the color of my skin, I'm not allowed to say a word. And who's being racist now? So, anyway, the University Improvement Association in Jamaica with aim of creating black governed nation in Africa. Well, that makes sense. They are of that nation. They should be the representation of that nation. So, yeah. We also have another 1914. Troyes Virges, German 69th Infantry Regiment, entered Luxembourg on outbreak of World War I. Yep, so, it's starting. What do we got here in 1916?
1916, Hawaii National Park forms.
All right.
1917, Frank Little, IWW organizer, lynched in Butte, Montana.
That's not good. What is IWW? Let me look that up here.
I was going to ask that.
1917, IWW. Industrial Workers of the World. Huh. Sounds like communism to me. The members were nicknamed Wobblies. It was an international labor union founded in Chicago in 1905. The nickname's origin is uncertain. Its ideology combines general unionism with industrial unionism, as it is a general union subdivided between the various industries with employees its members. The philosophy and tactics of IWW are described as revolutionary industrial unionism with ties to socialist, syndicalist, and anarchist labor movements. Okay, so I was right. It does, socialism, communism, of course, out of Chicago.
Chicago.
Isn't that where Saint Fentanyl, was?
Yeah. Oh, the great, Saint Floyd.
Yeah.
Our savior.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Saint.
And then those same people turn around and wonder how we can support a felon. Huh. Okay. So, whatever. What do we got here in 1918? Some sports.
In 1918, Pittsburgh and Boston Braves play an MLB record 20 scoreless innings before Pirates win 2-0 in 21.
Wow. So, they just had to get a score? Like usually baseball games...
They scored twice.
Yeah. 20 scoreless innings. Usually baseball games in that 9 innings, right?
Yeah.
And you have your 7-inning stretch. So 21 innings, 7, 14, 21. At the end of the game, you're doing your third 7-inning stretch for your only game. One game. That's madness.
It's a long day.
Now, this next one. What the hell is an airfare?
In 1919, Queen Wilhelmina opens first fair air in Amsterdam.
Airfare.
That.
Yeah, you had me thinking I was having a stroke. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm reading.
Wait.
But like airfare, like I that's like for sending mail. You pay the airfare. Like going on Delta, you pay the airfare. Like what is this, like a fare of air? Like you just go to a park. It's a fare. Breathe. It's an airfare. I know.
Enjoy the airfare.
What is an airfare? Let's see if this airfare. Okay, well this is what I was just talking about, but this is something else. Airfare. It's not going to tell me. This is talking about aircraft tickets. Okay, well I'm not going to get anything out of there. 1922.
1922, in Italy, the socialists Elisa del Navarro declared the national strike, which collapses immediately, and fascist forces destroy Union and Socialist headquarters.
Ah, yeah, fascism and socialism do not mix. Huh. Ooh, we got some more baseball in 1924.
1924 MLB Brooklyn Robins pitchers Daisy Vance strikes out at MLB record 7 consecutive batters and 14 overall and 4-0 win over visiting Chicago Cubs at Ebbets Field.
Dang, 7 consecutive strikeouts? That's impressive.
Yeah.
1927, we have the earliest date for a film to be considered for an Academy Award. And as I said yesterday, how they turned a popularity contest into a billion-dollar industry just baffles the hell out of me. You know? The Academy Awards, the Golden Globes, the this, the that, you know, like they have so many award shows and stuff. The Grammys, the whammies, the double dammies, like, I don't know. Like, we also have an influential country music group, the Carter family, made their first recording with producer Ralph Peer in Bristol, Tennessee. So if anybody knows about the Carter family, this is when they started. 1928, you take it.
In 1928, Babe Ruth hits home run number 42 in the Yankees 12-1 win versus St. Louis Browns, takes him 4 weeks ahead of his 1927 pace.
All right. Really nice. Ooh, and I think I actually have 2 of these on my desk right here.
Nice.
No, the next article.
Yeah, 1932, George Washington quarter goes into circulation.
Hey. So I guess you know what? If you roll a quarter, actually, yeah, this is Washington. If you roll a quarter, does that mean your heads are rolling? Like, I don't know. 1933, death penalty for anti-fascists in Germany.
Lovely.
Yeah, so if you're not with them, you're dead.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like what's happening in this country. 33 as well, the National Recovery Administration, NRA, that's a different NRA, was founded with Hugh S. Johnson as its first director. I wonder, what was first, the National Rifle Association or National Recovery Administration? Because one of those has legal authority to that abbreviation. Because don't forget, the stupid World Wildlife Foundation went after the World Wrestling Federation. Stupid pandas. So, we have New York's future Hall of Fame pitcher Carl Hubble set MLB record for consecutive scoreless innings at 45 1/3 as Giants lose 3-1 versus the Boston Braves. You want to take this golf one here in 1934?
1934, U.S. Amateur Golf Championship format is changed to a 6-day event with no 36-hole stroke play qualifying and 36-hole matches for semifinals and final.
Huh. Oh, okay, so the format has changed. Okay. That was confusing. I don't play golf, so I wouldn't understand really. Oh, man. Which one was worse, this next article or the one we just went through?
1936, the 11th Summer Olympic Games are opened by Adolf Hitler in Berlin.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh,
did
man.
not go well to the Germans that year.
Hey, even the Nazis had the tact not to mock Christianity, So, I guess this is one time, I'm not defending anybody, but the left has gone too far, So, but 41. Oh, you got 241s.
1941, New York Yankees pitcher Lefty Gomez his MLB record for most walks in a shutout, issuing 11 and 9-0 win versus St. Louis Browns.
Wow. They're just walking that guy. But hey, with this next one, you don't need to walk.
And 1941, the first Jeep is produced.
Yep. The all-terrain military vehicle, surpassed by the Hummer, which has subsequently been surpassed by whatever they call those really high-made ones. Like, they have a name for them. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you know, like practically all the military trucks now, they all have like they rest on that V-axis, and they're like 20 feet in the air. There's a word for them. I don't remember though. 1942, or I guess American Federation of Muslims Labor Union began to strike over royalty payment disagreements, refusing to perform on commercial recordings. The ban lasts for over 2 years. Huh. All right. And while that was going on, Nazi German occupiers demanded listing of all Dutch telephone subscribers. I wonder who they're looking for. I mean, like, the Jews wouldn't be using phones, would they? Like, I mean, when did becoming untraceable become, common knowledge? I don't know. We also have some more race riots here in Harlem, in New York City. And then just 1 year later, what happened in Japan?
Japan declares Burma independence under Obama.
All right. Oh, we got some more. Harlem. What the hell?
1943, more race riots in Harlem, New York City.
Same day, different year. Like 1 year apart. Like, did they plan this?
Yeah.
It's like, it almost sounds like a Josh fight event. Like, hey, let's do this every year. Like, how about no? By the way, do you remember the Josh fight?
No.
I think it's one of the few good things of 2020. So it started off as like, you know, this one guy named Josh, and he found like thousands of other people on Facebook named Josh, put them all into like one chat group, and then like it's like, oh hey, we're all gonna meet here at this time at this place, yada yada. And it actually it actually happened. Some people tried to live stream it, but the quality was really bad. But let's see if I can bring up a quick video of it. Josh fight. Yeah, here we go.
Battle of a lifetime in Lincoln today. #Josh fight started as a pandemic joke, but instead turned into an event watched by thousands across the country. Reporter Yusuf Nasser takes us to Lincoln for the unusual Josh fight that brought people from all over the country.
Little Josh, a plethora of Joshes gathered from all over the country to compete in the ultimate showdown.
I'm coming from Minnesota.
I'm coming all the way from Dallas.
So I'm from Omaha.
I'm from Wichita, Kansas. I drove 4.5 hours to be here.
And of course, the man who started it all, Josh Swain of Arizona.
I'm feeling pretty insane.
Dude, isn't that wild? Like, somebody actually just like impromptu created an entire thing. Like, if only people had this energy with the Area 51 raid.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was. The one guy, Naruto, running in the background.
Oh,
like,
fucking, I was waiting for a second. I was like, come on. Someone get on. Ah, there he is. It finally happened.
the hero of the century! Like, it's the true Hokage. What do we got here? 1944.
1944, Adam Clayton Powell Jr. elected first black U.S. citizen congressman from New York City, or New York.
Ah. I know that's a weird way to say it, but I refuse to use the term African American because Elon Musk is an African American, and he's whiter than chalk. So, I mean, I made that point 1,001 times, you know that. So, because I just find it, I know what they're getting at, but I find it, like, linguistically confusing. It's like, just say it, a black guy,
Yeah.
Why do you have to beat around the bush? Like, you have to politically correct your political incorrectness. Just say black guy. You know, so what? I'm a white guy. So what? You know. 1944. This one's really, really disturbing.
1944, Anne Frank's last diary entry. She is arrested 3 days later.
Yikes. I saw a meme about this actually just last night about, like, it double sucks for Anne Frank because, one, you know, she was a girl, and that, you know, having her diary read is the last thing that a girl wants. And the other reason I can't say on air. But I'll actually type it to you really quick.
Reminds me of that whitest kid you know skit. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna take this diary home and I'm gonna make millions. I'm like, well, what are you doing? That's another person's diary.
Read what I just sent to you.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't say that on air. Uno Mas 44, if you don't mind.
1944, Polish resistance fighters of the Home Army launched the Warsaw Uprising, the largest military effort undertaken by the resistance movement in occupied Europe.
Ah, nice. Go Poland. 1945, the Japanese city of Toyama was destroyed by B-29s, you know, bombing run. So there's an answer to our question there. Has Japan been bombed? Although if anybody knows history of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, most certainly yes. We also have a New York Giants outfielder. Mel Ott hit historic 500th MLB home run off Braves Johnny Hutchings. Joined Babe Ruth and Jimmy Fox as only players to reach the milestone. So I wonder how many people have had 500 MLB home runs. Well, you know what? How many? Makes me wonder. How many players have hit 500 home runs? Not 5,000. That's ridiculous. 500 home run club. Okay, let's see here. Oh, we have quite a few actually. Whoa. Okay. Oh, we have, Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr., Jim Thom, Sammy Sosa, Frank Robinson, Mark McGwire, and the list goes on. So, some of those names, I think, should be scrubbed from the record, though, because they were caught doping. But, let's see here. 1946, U.S. President Harry Truman has established the Atomic Energy Commission, the AEC. Well, we need that, you know. 48, the U.S. Air Force Office of Special Investigations was founded. Okay. 2 years later, American Bowling Congress ended all white males rule. Good. Whatever the hell that was. Let me look that up here really quick. What the hell? So, like, is that just, like, only white males can play? Let's see. Purpose, history, yada yada. Women's. Okay, well, it's not gonna. There should be something in here somewhere, but I'm not gonna dig. We're live on air. So, also in 1950, Guam Organic Act established Guam as an unincorporated U.S. territory. Huh. So, there we go. Some more instances of taxation without representation, because I'm pretty sure we taxed them. 1953. Boston Red Sox pitcher Ben Flowers set a then MLB record of 8 consecutive games in relief. So I wonder what the record is now. If anybody knows, let us know in the comments section. Do we have any comments on during the show? No, we do not. It does not look like it. So we also have 1953. California introduced sales tax for education. Yeah, that worked out very well. Oh my God. Wow. You know what? We should start a new thing in the show, King. Like the most ridiculous article of the day. I think this should be a nomination for today's one. We also have Fidel Castro was arrested in Cuba. So, all right, some good news with some bad. Good. Northern Rhodesia became part of the Federation of Rhodesia and Nyasaland. All right. And 1 year later, in 1954, South African Natives Resettlement Act came into being, empowering the government to remove Africans from any area within and next to the magisterial district of Johannesburg. Obviously part of apartheid. Nasty, nasty stuff. 1955, first microgravity research began. Ooh, microgravity in 55. I wonder if they're going up on the vomit comet, or whatever it's called. Like, they're not fully reaching space, but they're up in microgravity, so they're researching on the very outer edge of our atmosphere, right where gravity starts to dissipate. So, 57, the first commercial building heated by the sun, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I mean, you don't really... Like, what the hell? Like, what does that even mean? Like, is it solar powered or something? What does it mean to be heated by the sun? Let me look at this up here. Okay, these are a bunch of... This one looks run down and stuff. Let's see if there's anything in this here. The web search. Solar building. Okay. Oh, okay. Solar building located in Albuquerque, New Mexico was the world's first commercial building to be heated primarily by solar energy. It was built in 1956, although this one says 1957, so we may have a potential historical discrepancy here, to house the engineering firm of Bridgers and Paxton, who were responsible for the heating system design. The novel building received widespread attention with articles in national publications like Life and Popular Mechanics, and was the subject of a National Science Foundation-funded research project in the 1970s. It was added to the New Mexico State Register of Cultural Properties in 1985 and the National Register of Historic Places in 89, only 33 years after it was built. So, interesting. Let's take a picture. Let's take a look at that. So, its design, it's heated by the sun. I guess with the pitched roof and the way it's built, the angle, I don't know the exact semantics. So, this would be a good read. I suggest people to look this up. What else do we got here? 1957, ex-MLB outfielder Glenn Gorbis threw a regulation baseball a record in 136 meters or 445 feet and 10 inches in game promotion. Gil Hodges hit his 13th MLB career grand slam, a National League record, and the last ever by a Brooklyn Dodgers player. And by the way, I'm going to close this out here when we reach 1960, because I am getting aggressively hungry. And yeah, so 1957 as well, U.S. and Canada created the North American Air Defense Command, or NORAD. 58, U.S. first-class postage went up to 4 cents, had been 3 cents for 26 years. That's impressive. 1958, U.S. atomic submarine USS Nautilus began its first transit of the North Pole, Operation Sunshine. And 59, Pope John the 23rd published encyclical Sacerdotii Nostri Primordia, which, what is that even about? Let's take a look at this here really quick. It was the second encyclical. It commemorated the 100th anniversary of the death of Saint John Vianney, the patron saint of priests. All right. But yeah, as I said before, I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up here because I'm getting very hungry. So that will conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar of the description below for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. But yeah, like, there's so much that we omitted from the show itself and from our source itself. I highly, implore you, viewer, to go down there, check out our various sources, go look at all the other interesting things that happen on, today. So much stuff happens on a daily basis in history. It is astounding. So for your dose of past events daily, we try to stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. We do have other shows. We have the Omni Coalition News Show, weird, odd, and unusual notable events, weather, and sports every Saturn's Day at 3 p.m. We have the Omni Coalition Show, talk show talking about whatever, both planned and spontaneous, on Sunday, moving up from Moon's Day at 3 p.m. Pacific Time. So yeah, if you want to catch us live, it's 11 and 3 all for the West Coast. Mountain Time is 12 and 4, watch us for more. Central, 1 and 5 for the Contrived, and East 2 and 6 for your fix. For all of you and all of us, I am A.O. Xander. We have King's Refuge over here, and you, of course, here are you. Until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumb, and subscribe.